This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update for you. Apparently, Bret Hart is still bitter towards Bill Goldberg, was signing autographs F. Bill Goldberg during WrestleMania weekend. Of course, I found out recently he actually wrestled about 10 times for WCW after taking that kick to the head that allegedly led to his retirement, even though, of course, he wrestled several times for WWE after that and made up with WWE after his departure, after the Montreal screw job that even the Ultimate Warrior thought was a work. He said everything was way too convenient, and the more I've researched it, the more I believe that was a work too. And the great relationship that Bret has with Vince to this day is even more evidence of that. I mean, they've hugged since then. SmackDown did one of its highest rating in years, 0.69. That featured a big announcement from Triple H, the return of the draft. Even though we see the Usos, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn on every single show, and the champion has 2 belts and appears on both shows. I don't know. I guess the draft is just a ratings getter. Apparently, Vince McMahon is not backstage at Raw in Seattle tonight. They have 9,000 pre-sold for tonight's Raw. SmackDown, Vince McMahon was not backstage either, but he was involved with the creative. I mean, I never found the creative any different under Triple H. So it doesn't really matter to me who's running it. Of course, as far as who's the better mind, Triple H or Vince, look at what each of them has done in the business. Triple H, yes, a great politician. One of the best, probably the best politician ever in wrestling. But Vince, all of his accomplishments in wrestling, he's got to have a good idea or two. Logan Paul has re-signed with the WWE, according to ESPN. They said he re-signed a multi-year deal. However, it is noteworthy that last year at this time, they also said he had a multi-year deal. And yet he said it was up before WrestleMania. So are these really multi-year deals, or are they just saying it? Either way, Logan Paul didn't win the Royal Rumble, didn't win against Roman Reigns, and didn't win against Seth Rollins. So if they keep jobbing him out, I don't know how much value he's going to have. He does have good performances, but people get over with victories. I mean, the reason they're using him is because he has a massive social media following. So it's to help him with WWE. But I didn't agree with him going over with Seth Rollins going over him at WrestleMania. And it's funny that the spot was badly timed when Rollins pulled KSI onto the table for Logan Paul to jump to. He did it before Logan Paul even jumped. So Logan Paul jumped knowing that it was KSI on the table. So I guess we're all just supposed to ignore that as a, you know what? I really wish it was in a way back in the old ECW days where there would be "you effed up" chants. Those seem to have disappeared from wrestling. Like it didn't happen when Uncle Howdy completely missed LA Knight during that whole Fiend thing that the Fiend seems to be done at this point or something. He's gone now anyways, but it's like we're just supposed to overlook massive fuck ups now because if him and KSI are supposedly friends now, co-owning a company, why did he jump onto the table with KSI on it after Seth had already moved him? And it was clear that he had already moved. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, this is why I'm not watching Raw and why I only lasted one night of WrestleMania. I just don't like it anymore. Eric Young has been rehired apparently since November 2022. but just hasn't been on TV yet. And in UFC news, George Masvidal, of course, had his third loss in a row and retired after a great career from UFC in his hometown of Miami last Saturday night. So congratulations to him on a great career. He was once awarded the BMF title from The Rock. Yes, Chris. I mean, Nash has even said it. Hall has even said it. I mean, Bret did make huge money in WCW, and that really like boom made the Attitude Era boom. And then he came back to WWE. He was the commissioner. He wrestled in a WrestleMania. He did a tag match as well. Like, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is Bret's a multi-billionaire with a family, and I think he's on his third wife now. But I've seen his wife much younger, beautiful wife. He recently opened a bar, and really, he's still whining about the fucking Goldberg thing. I mean, come on. There's a guy that doesn't seem to have a fun life. And I mean, come on, that was an accident. And again, he wrestled 10 times after that. The history of it will make people want to think, which I was surprised. I didn't know this. And then I researched it after someone told me, and it is true. It's not like he stopped wrestling that night. He continued wrestling. So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. Apparently, Bret Hart's booking his own promotion in Calgary now. That's featuring Davey Boy Smith Jr., very talented. Strangely enough, they're not using Ted Hart, but looks like he's getting back into it. It's something to do with his sons. No real names on the card other than Davey Boy Smith Jr., but it looked like they had a good crowd on Good Friday at the Victoria Pavilion. So on that note, have a great night. I am interviewing DDP tomorrow, but he didn't want to do the interview live for some reason. So I will post it later tomorrow. And no gimmicks guy Jack Kilby, the executive vice president of Great North Wrestling, says Kevin Sullivan is going to be on the Old School Shooters podcast with the King of Connecticut and Jack Kilby Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Please, can we not hear about Ric Flair, King of Connecticut? We hear about this. We know that you took, we know that you made Ric Flair's wife jealous or something. We get the point. I think Ric Flair is losing his interest lately. He seems to be another guy that's been bitter lately, and he wasn't supposed to continue drinking years ago when he almost died, and now he's back drinking, smoking weed all the time. I know he's got his weed brand and stuff, but that promo he did when he was inducting Great Muta was just rambling and boring. Okay, he's on his second wife. Okay, there was another woman in between, maybe his current wife and this new one that was Italian. She was the best looking of them all. Dr. Smith X, it's the biggest market in the business. Mike, that promotion is called Dungeon Wrestling. Have I seen the Ultimate Warrior movie Firepower? Yes, I started to watch it, and honestly, I didn't get far enough to see him in it because it wasn't very good. Maybe I'll give it another chance, but I saw your post that the Warrior was in that, and it's funny because I did review his shoot interview, and he talked about how his foray into Hollywood didn't go very well, but like I watched about 10 minutes of it, and the Warrior wasn't in it, and it didn't really pique my interest, so I threw in the towel. Ocean View, yeah, it's all right. I've been taking a break from it for a while after having a bad experience drinking one of those weed drinks. But also, I'm in pretty hard training right now. Actually, I did legs and back at the gym today. It was dead because it's the Easter Monday holiday here. And then I ran. So I'm actually also going to do DDP yoga tonight because I've been back running outside past 2.5 to 3 weeks, and my back is not used to it. So I got to do some yoga here to loosen up my back. And don't forget, speaking of Jack Kilby, who just made a couple comments on here, he's putting on the Great North Wrestling card May 6th in Ottawa, featuring Wes Briscoe. And Jack Kilby just appeared on Wes Briscoe's podcast. Kevin Sullivan will be on that card managing the Blood Hunter against Cowboy James Storm, who I'll be honest, rather than WWE hiring Eric Young back, who already had a very forgettable run in WWE, I think James Storm would have been the better hire, but that's my booking, not Triple H's.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not